Hey everybody, Nick Lydorf here. Today is Monday, December 7th, 2020. I just want to share with you my newsletter for this week, where it's a two-part, kind of where we talk about some things you need to look for when you're hiring an estate planning attorney. So number one is how are you going to bill for your services? That's kind of a pretty generic question that you should probably ask every lawyer that you want to work with. And if they have some problems answering that, you might want to have a little bit concern if you want to work with them. The way that I typically like to do things, I come from the kind of a non-traditional way of doing things, which is I think that you should know exactly how much your fee is going to be when you start to have the relationship with your lawyer. So shouldn't be really any questions about how much it's going to be and what your expectations are in terms of fees and when that's going to be paid and all that. So I think that's one thing that you really need to be aware of when you're working with an estate planning lawyer or any kind of lawyer for that matter, just being able to have that conversation about fees. I think the way of flat fee billing is kind of catching on more and more. The traditional way of doing it, which is billing by the hour, I think is a really broken model that discourages client and attorney communication. Being afraid that you're going to get billed 0.2 of an hour and for every time that you call your lawyer, I think it doesn't encourage you to want to have those questions answered. But I think that if you engage a lawyer that has a way of doing things with a flat fee, then like for instance with working with me, you're not going to be charged by a phone call. I'll keep track of time, but I'm not going to be billing you for that. So I think that's something that you really need to pay attention to. The second thing is, how are you going to respond to client needs on an ongoing basis? It's interesting that two of these things that kind of come from they're basically a reaction to fear. Number one is I'm afraid of how much it's going to cost. And then number two, I'm afraid that you're not going to get back with me. I'm just going to be left in the same position I was before I hired you. So yeah, these are kind of two things you want to pay attention to. The second one is how is the lawyer going to respond to you? You kind of want to know, if I'm going to call, how are my calls and concerns going to be responded to? There's a lot of ways to get a hold of lawyers. There's email, there's text, there's fax. People tell you that, I don't know. Mail, showing up at our office. There's a variety of ways that you can get a hold of your lawyer. You just want to make sure that you're going to have somebody that's going to be responding to your concerns, and that they're going to do it in a really timely manner. When I worked at other places, before I kind of decided to go on my own, I saw that client questions weren't really returned in a as quick a basis as I would have wanted them to be. And kind of when I started out on my own, one of the things that I really wanted to, the principle that I had is, like, I want to treat people how I would want to be treated myself. And if I was a client, I would definitely want to have a timeline for responding to my concerns when I reached out for this lawyer that I'm paying for, right? So these are kind of questions that you want to have when you meet with someone, and be able to engage them in such a way that what expectations are, and that how you're going to be able to get a hold of them, and you're going to be kind of have that good feeling going away that if I hire this person, they're going to get back with me in a timely manner. So those are the two things that I wanted to talk about this week that are in our newsletter. I'll share a link with you if you want to read the whole article. And then also I'll be sharing a link with you for an always on webinar that I've launched. And if you click and watch that, it's got a way to get a discount towards legal services. If you watch for that full webinar, I think it kind of gives a good idea of what the estate planning process is, and walks you through what you would need to do to get started. So I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always get a hold of me by either you can call me at 517-388-6800, or you can shoot me a text too. And I'm very responsive to that. I try and get back with you, as soon as I can. So have a great rest of your day, everybody. All right, bye.